So somebody left this comment on YouTube that, hey Nishta, why don't you create videos for people who are already studying in US right now? And I started thinking that yes, this is the group of the people who are most in shock, and they are caught in this shitstorm between Trump and India. And yes, it's not fair, because when they went, situation was different. They invested their time, energy and money to get there. They were doing everything right, and just when things were looking okay and they were starting to build their career in US, then Trump gets elected and all this starts happening. So yes, it's not fair to them, but life is not fair and we can't do anything about it. So I started thinking that, like, what is something I can tell to this group of people. So yes, while there are no magic pills, I thought of, like, what advice or some sensible things that you guys can do to safeguard your interest. So this is some advice from my side to people who are already invested in US now and who are already studying there. All this on the other side of the intro. Keep watching. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Nishta from Scholar Strategy and 24 North Star. Today's video is not about who's applying to US, who wants to study there, should you go there or not. This video is for everyone, for every Indian who is in US right now, feeling stuck because of Trump's policies and not knowing what the future entails. So I've listed down some recommendation items that I would do if I were in your place. So we are going to look at some options, some things that you should start doing to secure your future in these very, very uncertain times. By the way, if you're finding the information on this channel useful, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me. And now let me get directly to the point, because this is a serious matter. Here's the first advice I want to give to you people. And that is to look at the big tech transfers across Canada, Europe and India. Now, big tech companies already have major engineering offices in places such as Dublin, Toronto and even Bangalore. Now, with recent US H-1B fee proposals, there is a higher incentive for these firms to hire bigger teams in India and other countries rather than paying $100,000 fee for the H-1B visas in the US. So there should be a rise in the number of people they hire in non-US offices, and this is your opportunity. Also, many of these big tech teams are now remote first, which means you should not be limiting your job search to the US alone. So the action item for you is tap into these internal transfer programs across these big tech companies, and if you have any US experience already, that can be your golden ticket to get good paying jobs in these Indian, European and Canadian offices. My second advice is to look seriously at UAE. The AI revolution is causing a mega shortage of data centers in the US. So Dubai and Abu Dhabi are investing billions in hyperscale data centers, cloud and AI infrastructure. If you haven't heard of the projects of the 50, you must read about it. It is basically a series of developmental and economic projects that aim to accelerate UAE's development and transform it into a comprehensive hub in all sectors. Its agenda explicitly targets talent and advanced tech growth, and they have the Golden Visa program, which provides long term options for high value tech talent. This makes UAE an increasingly strong market for data, cloud, AI roles. This is obviously a great news for master's graduates in data, cloud, cybersecurity, and AI, because they are in high demand for roles in these data center operations, cloud engineering, and AI product management. So, the action item here is, if you are graduating from any of the relevant field, or if you're willing to move to one of these fields, then you should seriously look at UAE, because salaries are globally competitive. Some of these are tax free regions, and it is becoming a launch pad for Middle Eastern and North African tech markets. Third point is to explore the O1 visa option, which is the extraordinary ability route. O1 is now the go-to option for high achieving master's graduate. So if I were in your place, I would definitely start building my O1 case, which means gathering evidence for publications, patents, conference talks, and strong recommendation letters. By the way, even if you leave the US, keep your O1 file updated, because many people return after a year or two with a stronger case. Fourth recommendation is to explore special visa routes in Canada, Germany, and beyond. If you don't want to head back to India right away and explore more global options, then you have many options to do that as well. For example, UK has a great high potential individual visa for graduates from world's topmost institutes, and this list includes a lot of universities in the US such as Duke, NYU, U Chicago, apart from Ivy Leagues, MITs, etc. If you have graduated from one of these universities, you can move to UK without requiring any job sponsorship. You can move there and then keep looking for a job or start your own business. Similarly, Canada's Global Talent Stream and Germany's Chancen Card or the Opportunity Card now allows job seeking on arrival for skilled graduates. So what I would do is I would explore all these options, look at these various countries, understand what visa routes do they offer, then make a priority list based on my individual preference, and then start credential evaluation and start the job search process early on. I would basically try to leverage my US degree and experience to first explore global options rather than coming back to India right away, because that I can do at any time in my life. Fifth advice is to obviously look at the CAP exempt H1B route. Now, as most of us know, university affiliated research labs, hospitals, and some non-profits can sponsor something known as CAP exempt H1B visas, which can happen anytime during the year, and they do not fall into the lottery. So they are less impacted by all Trump's major H1B changes. So if you are graduating in a field which is research friendly, then definitely target postdoc research or teaching roles at universities under this cap exempt H1B visas. This gives you some buffer until you can transition to your target corporate roles. These positions can be a bridge until you get your desired position. Of course, this is possible only in some fields, for example, biomedical or life sciences, or something which is closer to research or academia. Now, this is also not very straightforward to get, and I was talking to a biomedical institute student from Georgia Tech, and she mentioned that she is struggling to even find cap exempt H1B jobs. But yes, if you have not thought about it, this is something you must actively explore. Sixth recommendation, and this is something many people don't think about, is to build strong rapport with your US professors and managers. Trust me, your US network is your long term asset even if you leave now. Academic and professional references, collaborations, and networks are durable assets that help with future jobs, grants, and visa petitions. For example, these are the people who could be writing your LOR for Oven visa, adjunct roles, research collaborations, etc. So, what I would do in your place is definitely stay in touch with my professors, managers, etc., for future research, references, or job opportunities. By the way, many US professors have global collaborations and they can open your doors in many other countries as well. So get in their good books now, even if you're planning to leave US anytime soon. Lastly, keep a close eye on Middle East even beyond Dubai. Saudi Arabia's NEOM project and Qatar's tech cities are hiring for AI, robotics, and smart infrastructure. NEOM is a long running mega project in Saudi with large tech AI robotics ambitions, and Qatar is actively signing AI partnerships and investing in government AI adoption. Both countries are recruiting globally for specialized STEM roles. If you fall under one of these areas, you must check out the opportunities in these countries. So, you should look for roles in smart city projects, AI labs, fintech, etc., and explore the opportunities in Middle East overall. However, let me add a note on Middle East. These opportunities also come with some geopolitical, regulatory, and cultural considerations. Compensation and visa arrangements vary. So please evaluate your role specific duties and contractual protections very carefully. But yes, this is one of the interesting and attractive opportunities many US grads are looking at. Bottom line is, I know you might be feeling cornered because of Trump's tantrums, but this is not the time to freeze, this is the time to pivot. World is still hiring, and your US masters can still open doors far beyond US. So that is where I would focus my energy now. Be it UAE, be it other countries in Middle East, be it Canada, Europe, or even Australia, and of course India. There are options for you. So don't freeze. Figure out what looks best and make the next move. Sometimes action is the best remedy to anxiety. How did you find this video? I hope I've been able to give you some meaningful options, but if I've missed anything, please do let me know in the comments. As always, I really wish you guys well, and if there's any way I can help you, please tell me in the comments below, and I would try my best to provide any sort of support here. So hang in there, guys. I wish you the best, and sometimes these are the moments that bring out the best opportunities for us. So yes, keep looking. I will see you guys next week with a fresh new video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.